Good afternoon, everybody. James Wright here with grabaplate.org. I'm coming to you with this video just to explain a few things on why I do what I do. It all starts about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, me and my wife and my newborn daughter and my son, who was 2 at the time, were evicted from our apartment illegally on Christmas Eve, meaning we had nowhere to go on Christmas morning. So we packed up what we had and we moved in with my wife's parents, which was a big mistake. They were very mean. They treated us unkindly. Basically, it was a Cinderella story, basically, where we did all the cooking, the cleaning, and taking care of everything, and all they did was bitch and complain at us. So we called 211. From there, we told them that we were in an unsafe location and we were unhappy and we were about to be homeless. So they put us in a hotel. From that hotel, we spent 7 days there, which then they moved us to another hotel where we spent 14 days. Then we moved to a little shelter that we were in and out of every day because we could only go in at night and come out during the day. After that, we were finally moved into a senior living home where we exchanged services helping with the seniors, citizens, and in exchange for this, we got a room that we all shared for the next 6 months. So basically, the whole time we were homeless was a year. We got connected with a company called Weingart. Weingart basically helped us find an apartment. They paid our first 6 months rent, security deposit, and basically last month's rent. We've been in this apartment for the past 5 years now. 2 years into moving into this apartment, my wife had problems with her gallbladder, so she had to go in for a routine surgery. They ended up overdosing her and killing her for 6 minutes. This was the hardest thing in my life I ever had to deal with. To be woken up to hear your wife has passed away, and then they call you back and tell you that they brought her back, but they don't know if she's the same. She wasn't the same. Ever since the time where they overdosed her and we brought her home, she became a different person. And I do mean a different person. She no longer cared about anything but herself and trying to find ways to deal with her depression and escape. So she turned to drugs. She started doing methamphetamines and whatever else she could do to get herself to be numb, taking 2 milligram Xanax a day, 20 Narcos a day. I mean, she was heavily into drugs. This is when I had to basically put my foot down and make a choice. Do I try to help her, or do I save my children and myself from the situation? So I did what I thought was right. I basically put her in a psychiatric hold for 48 hours to see if that would help. It didn't. She came home. The first day she was home, she tried to commit suicide. She took her whole entire bottle of 2 milligrams Xanax, which is 60 pills. I had no idea she did this until I came into her, found her laying down on the bed crying, saying to take care of the children, that mommy is better off being somewhere else and they don't need to see it. Right then I knew. I ran to the bathroom, I looked at her prescription bottles and I saw they were empty, and I knew she was trying to kill herself, so I called 911. They came. She refused to let them take her because she was still coherent. So we had to sit there and wait for 35 minutes for her to pass out and to start overdosing before the police could forcibly take her to the hospital. That was it. I couldn't do it anymore. I ended up going down and filing a restraining order and having her put on a 30-day hold, where she spent trying to get sober, but she didn't. So for the past 3 years, my wife has now been living homeless in a mobile home with a person that abuses her and beats her and treats her like shit. but she won't leave because that's where the drugs are. So now I'm here, a single father, taking care of my 2 children, and I told myself, I will do whatever I can to help others. I tried to help my wife and failed. But that doesn't mean I'm a failure. That doesn't mean other people can't be helped. I am a transitional home now for a single mother and her 4 children, my 2 children, and myself. And we've done everything we can to do whatever we can for the community, the homeless, and people in need. But I have run to the end of my line. I have basically put myself in debt $40,000. I've lost my business. I've lost some friends. And now we're facing eviction. We owe 7 months rent, and we're going to be on the street soon. So I have to look up all these companies again and try to go through this whole process once again because I let my heart be too big for my pocketbook. Do I regret it? No. Do I wish I could have done more? Yeah. I wish I could have saved my wife. I mean, she's still alive, but what kind of life is that? She doesn't even remember half of anything. She's always on drugs. And to this day, I still try to help her. I send her money here and there, so she can get food. But I couldn't have it around my children. It was too dangerous, and I was not going to lose my children for somebody else's addictions. So this is why I am who I am, because I've been there. I've lost people to drugs and addictions. I've been homeless. And now I live in poverty with basically 6 children. But I won't give up. But I do ask the community, please stand up, help people, at least be the better person. Humanity and compassion is free. You were given a heart for a reason. Don't always let your mind control you. Let the feelings that you feel in your heart run wild for once in a while. I know I'm just rambling on, but I just wanted people to understand where I'm coming from. I was homeless for an entire year. My wife, I lost her to drugs and addiction. 10 years ago, I was a drug addict. I haven't done drugs now in over 10 years. So, people can change. People can do good things. You just gotta let it happen. And you gotta want it to happen. It's never too late to do the right thing. So God bless you all. I hope that you never have to succumb to the situations that I've had to deal with in my life. Nobody should have to go through that, and I don't wish that upon anybody. But when you see a homeless person on the street, don't belittle them. Don't look down on them. There's a reason they're there, and it's not always drugs. Sometimes people just fall down and need a rope to help get them back up. I'm James Wright with grabaplate.org, and basically now you know.